Independent life skills. Personal cleaning skills in individuals with special needs. Special needs. Individuals who differ from their peers in terms of mental, physical, individual characteristics or learning abilities for various reasons and who need the support of others in their life are defined as individuals with special needs. Considering the cognitive, emotional, social, behavioral, and physical characteristics of the individual with special needs, individual training programs, environments arranged in accordance with his needs, methods, techniques, materials, and personnel suitable for learning characteristics are needed. Self-sufficiency skills are supported by giving these individuals the chance to improve their life functions. Skills are the activities that an individual is predicted to be able to do or perform based on his or her competences. Life skills, which are a priority for individuals with special needs, should be such that they support and sustain their lives independently. These skills can be classified as independent living skills, social life skills, and social skills. Independent living skills include the skills necessary for the individual to lead his or her life without needing others' help, quality of life, and social adaptation. The most basic self-care skills are feeding, dressing, and toilet training. Skills such as hand-face washing, toothbrushing, cleaning of body parts, hair combing, and bathing are also skills that support self-care and cleaning. Self-care skills in individuals with special needs. Individuals with special needs need to live independently inside and outside the family when the time comes. It is not possible for individuals who cannot meet their own self-care needs to continue their lives independently. Likewise, it is important for individuals with special needs to learn, practice, and generalize these behaviors, participate in an independent life, and lead a healthy life. In individuals with special needs, many reasons other than intellectual disability may delay their acquisition of self-care skills. These factors can be listed as follows. Individual factors. Diagnosis of the individual, learning disability, autism spectrum disorder, etc. Deficiencies in large and or fine motor skills, arm and leg muscles, etc. Existing skills, performance level, or the level of starting a new skill. Learning basic skills level, ability to understand and fulfill instructions. Development level of imitation skills. Inadequacies in visual and auditory attention skills. Visual impairment. Inadequacies in hand-eye coordination. Deformity in the oral and intraoral parts of insufficient development of these parts, especially in terms of eating and fluid intake. Factors related to the curriculum or the teacher. The correct determination of the work to be done by the teacher for the community and generalization of the acquired skills. The suitability of the teaching methods and techniques to the individual. The tools to be used in teaching, suitability of the individual for the type of disability. The reinforcements to be used while teaching, food, toys, activities, verbal praise, etc. can have a strong effect on the individual. The environment to be taught, heat, light, comfort, etc. The teacher's competence and teaching skills. The teacher's patient, smiling, and motivating approach. Family-related factors. Families have sufficient knowledge on this subject. Parents' level of readiness for their children's skills training. Parents' patience. Self-care skills in individuals with special needs. Care skills have an important place in terms of developing their independent living skills. There are many stages in the training program prepared for teaching self-care skills to the individual. Things to do before starting to teach the skills related to self-care skills to individuals with special needs can be listed as follows. Priority skills that need to be taught for the individual and his or her family are determined. For this, an evaluation is made with a rough evaluation form about what the individual can and cannot do. As a result of the evaluation, a skill analysis is made about the skills to be worked with the individual, and a criterion-dependent measurement tool is prepared based on this. The individual's performance level is determined. Long and short-term goals are set for the skills to be studied. Curriculum is prepared in line with these objectives. In the curriculum, information about which method and technique the skill will be taught, what the tools and reinforcements to be used in teaching will be, and the day, hour, and place of the teaching are also included in the curriculum. It is decided to ensure the continuity of the acquired skill and how it will be generalized. It should also be determined in advance what kind of activities can be done or what environment should be provided for the individual to use the newly learned skill continuously in daily life. Performance determination and skill analysis in individuals with special needs. In order to teach an individual with special needs something new, it is necessary to know what the individual's previous knowledge and current skills are. Knowing the knowledge and skills is an important issue as it will form the basis of the new skills to be taught. Performance determination is the study carried out to determine which skill an individual knows, to determine which skill is ready to learn, and to measure the individual's strengths and weaknesses regarding the skill. This stage constitutes the first step of teaching. The list prepared to determine performance is also called a skill checklist or rough assessment tool. In addition to rough evaluation tools, family interviews are conducted with the individual's family in determining the individual's performance. The active participation of families in the evaluation and education of the individual provides important contributions to the individual and the education process. It is seen that this situation has a positive effect on the individuals gaining many independent life skills regarding self-care, indoor and outdoor social life. In addition, by observing the individual, it is determined what the individual can and cannot do in daily life and self-care skills in general. As a result of all these evaluations, the skills that the individual cannot do are determined and prioritized according to their developmental order and usage function. Finally, it is decided to teach one or more self-care skills that are appropriate for the level of the individual and that have a priority need. It is very difficult or not possible to acquire most of the skills in a single step in individuals with special needs. Individuals can reach these skills more easily through some small steps. The process performed to determine what the steps that make up a skill are and to rank each teachable step is called skill analysis. In this way, complex or multi-level behavior or skills are broken down into sub-skill steps, operation steps that are easy to teach in small parts. The skills to be taught in a well-prepared skills analysis follow a logical order. In addition, all necessary steps should be included in the analysis for the individual to reach the determined goal. Skill analysis. It can be used to determine the performance of the individual before the education, to monitor the progress of the education by recording the progress of the individual during the education, to evaluate at the end of the education. Thus, the people who teach the skill to the individual and the family can have the opportunity to see and compare the developments in the individual more easily. Teaching multiple step behaviors is called chain instruction. Chain teaching can be done in two ways: forward chaining and backward reverse chaining. Skills analysis is also done in two ways, as forward chaining and backward chaining approach according to the order of execution. Forward chaining. It is the learning of each step one by one from the first step of the behavior. While teaching the first operation step, first basic skill is emphasized and other operation steps, other basic skills are not taught. After the individual performs the first processing step independently, proceed to the second processing step. Forward chaining. It is the step-by-step teaching of each behavior starting from the end of the steps that make up the skill to the first step. In other words, the skill analysis is organized from the last to the first done. While teaching, the last processing step is emphasized, other processing steps are not taught. When the individual reaches independence and the last processing step, the teaching of the penultimate processing step begins. In each trial, the individual is asked to complete the skill by doing the steps that he performs independently. As a result of the evaluation, if it is seen that the individual cannot perform more than half of the basic skills and needs physical assistance and modeling clues in many skill steps, it can be decided to acquire that skill with the reverse chain approach. After the skill analysis is done, a criterion-dependent measure tool (CBA) is prepared. This tool is used to determine what the individual can do, namely his or her performance starting level, to record the progress made by the individual during teaching, and to determine the level of realization of the individual's teaching goals at the end of the teaching. Criterion-dependent measurement tool (CBA) consists of statements, criteria, and questions. The steps of the analyzed skill form the notification section of the measure tool. The criterion is determined. The question section of the criterion-dependent measurement tool can be arranged in two different ways according to the method to be adopted in determining the performance level. If the single opportunity method is to be used, only the main instruction about the skill, the instruction that enables the person to do the skill when given to the person who will do the skill, is written in the question section of the PBL. The teacher gives the main instruction, wear your socks, about the skill. The steps that the individual performs independently and correctly are recorded as positive opposite the relevant step in the IPA. If an individual makes or fails to make a step incorrectly, his skill is stopped and the remaining steps, including that skill level, are recorded incorrect. With the multi-opportunity method used in the preparation of the PBL, it is determined whether the individual can perform each step of the skill independently or not, and which clue is used for each step. The steps are ordered from first to last. In the questions section, there are independent CC, MO, and PM columns. The individual is given the main instruction regarding the skill. If the skill level is independent, it is recorded as B+. If he cannot make the skill step independently or makes mistakes, the individual is stopped and verbal clues are given about that step. If the individual fails or makes mistakes in the next skill step, a verbal hint is given about that step and he is expected to do it. If he can't do it despite this, the teacher does it as a model and verbally explains how he did it. Then he is asked to repeat that step. If the individual is unable to do so, it is recorded as a physical aid to the measurement tool. No matter which method is used while preparing the PBL, no positive or negative reaction should be made towards the skill steps that the individual does right or wrong. Whole skill method. In order for the whole skill method to be used, the skill analysis prepared before the performance acquisition must be done according to the forward chain. First, the long-term goal is set for the independent realization for the entire skill. Then, in order to achieve this long-term goal, short-term goals are formed from performing the skill with the most hints to performing the skill with the least hints and including the entire skill. During the application of this method, teaching is done for all the processing steps of the skill. In each teaching session, the clues in the skill steps are pulled slowly and the whole skill is tried to be realized. Types of assistance used in teaching individuals with special needs. Special needs, as in the education of individuals with normal development, many types of assistance are used when teaching a behavior or skill. However, these types of assistance are used more frequently in individuals with special needs. Aid should be reduced and gradually discontinued as skills are taught. The purpose of skill teaching should be to enable the individual to perform a skill with the least amount of help. Reinforcement. It is a technique that shows differences according to the age, development, and personality characteristics of the individual and their interests and directs the individual to do the desired behavior. While preparing the training program, it is necessary to determine the most appropriate reinforcer for the individual. While determining the reinforcer, the interests and wishes of the family and the individual with special needs are also taken into account.